All right, boys. Today is today's trade recap of the day. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. I want to show you guys the trade that I took. I took a break-even trade this morning on NQ, and why it was break-even, why our bias, our analysis on everything. So yeah, let's hop right into it. Getting into the chart, you can see my executions on the hourly candle. Looking at the hourly chart, what do we see? We see this hourly gap right here. This hourly bearish gap right here. Gets inversed, and then we keep holding it, wicking into it and holding it, okay? And then we also have this hourly gap up here. Hourly high, or all-time highs, I'm sorry, right here. So, scaling down, I'm like, okay, we keep wicking out of this gap. What is it? It's a 5-minute gap down here that we keep wicking out of. All right, perfect. So, let's turn the drawings on, and it's going to make more sense. So we can see on the 5-minute, we have all of this trend line liquidity built up right here. We can also see, if we go down to the 1-minute chart, this is our relative internal 15-minute high, as well as Asia high. Market opens, what happens? We manipulate a little bit lower into this 5-minute gap, sweeping out this low, putting in an SMT. I was looking at this trade here. Change of state and delivery right here. And then I wanted to see a little bit of a pullback right here, which we got 0.5 equilibrium right there. You could have taken a long right here. Up to these 15-minute highs, up to Asia high. Okay? I did not take that trade. I wanted to look for a short. So what happens? Asia opens. And New York opens, we dump, put in this SMT, put in a change of state, and then we start to displace higher, taking out 15-minute internal high to Asia high. So what happens? We put in a doji, and then we put in a 1-minute inverse fair value gap. I know people that took the inverse right here. I did not take the inverse right here. It wasn't enough conviction for me. We just played up into a we just played up into a 15-minute gap and also swept out internal 15-minute highs and Asia high. So I wanted to see a higher time frame inverse fair value gap than this small 1-minute right here. So price starts to dump off. We get this 1-minute inverse. I'm looking at the 1-minute inverse. I know we're delivering out of a 15-minute fair value gap, like I just said. We just swept out Asia high, and we just swept out the 15-minute internal high. 1-minute inverse. Okay, let's keep that in mind. And then we start to get this displacement. We get a change of state and delivery right here. And then we start to get this absolute displacement, telling us that we are actually trying to go seek out some sell-side liquidity right now. So I look at the 5-minute chart, and I'm like, okay, we have this 5-minute gap right here. So see this 5-minute gap, and I'm like, I'm gonna wait for this 5-minute gap to get inverse and then look for a short. We inverse this 5-minute gap. So then what do I look for? I take out equilibrium of this whole entire swing down leg, and it gives me the 0.5 right here, equilibrium, which is right in CE of this 5-minute inverse fair value gap. So I'm waiting for the 5-minute pullback, and I'm waiting for equilibrium of this range to get hit here. So that's exactly what happens. EQ gets hit. I take my short with a 17-point stop loss right outside of the 5-minute fair value gap, targeting these relative equal lows that we put in, taking out this SMT right here. You can see, took out this SMT, put in this low, and then right around this, when we put in this dump, we put in this low right here, put in some relative equal lows. So that's what I wanted to see get hit. And then we also had 15-minute internal low down here. So I take my short, in profit a little bit, and then we get a little bit of a pullback. I'm in drawdown. We put in a tiny SMT between this 1004 candle and this 1009 candle. We put in a tiny SMT. You can see 1004 gets hit, is right here, and 1009 is right here. We sweep this. So we put in a tiny SMT right here between NQ and ES, which gives me more confirmation that we want to then continue to sell off. So I hold my trade, and we start to get more displacement. I make this my break-even point because I know once we take over this low, we should be able to either dump through this 5-minute gap and take out these relative equal lows in this 15-minute internal low, or we're going to hold this 5-minute gap once again and start to displace out of it like we did right here. So hits my break even, I go break even. Candle or two later, we get stop break even. And then price wants to chop around a little bit until it starts to displace, and then just go run all-time highs. I did not see a long today. The only thing that I could have seen was, I guess, if we want to get rid of everything real quick, I seen this 5-minute inverse. And then if I go down to the 1 minute, I can just take this swing high to this swing low, and I assume we rejected off of the 7-9. We put in another 1 minute inverse, and could have taken a trade out of here, anywhere in here, to then target them all-time highs. But once again, I did not really see a long. That was the only long I seen, and I was really looking for this trend line liquidity to all get ran through, and for us to just dump through it right here. So that was the trade, one break even today. And yeah, boys, make sure you guys actually start to use these codes. Funded Heroes, instant funding, top one, 60% off. They're pretty much free accounts. Tradeify, that account is literally being worked on as we speak. My Tradeify code should be working tonight. And Alpha Futures doing a 20% off code for until the end of April. So you can stack up on some accounts over there. I'm 100% okay with this trade. I like this trade. I'll take this trade 10 out of 10 times. And yeah, boys, I hope you guys all understand everything that I just went over in this trade. I'll go over it real quick one more time. So trendline liquidities all swept, built up right here. Leave relative equal lows after sweeping out 15-minute internal high and Asia high. Changes state, 5-minute inverse, 5-minute pullback, equilibrium. I take my entry, waiting for this trendline liquidity to all get ran through and targeting these relative equal lows. But as you can see, this 5-minute gap held like it has been holding, and this trendline liquidity, this trend line, I should say, just held, and then we displaced all the way up to all-time highs once again. Couldn't get the full delivery. Was up about a 1 to 2.5 on this trade, 1 to 2, and needed a couple more ticks, but we couldn't get it, boys, and it's okay. So that was the whole trade recap for the day, and yeah, I will see you boys tomorrow. I'm gonna do a trade recap tomorrow. I'm gonna start dropping some beginner videos and some also like my course videos in the Discord. Make sure you guys are following the Discord. It's gonna be linked in the description. And follow me on TikTok, Instagram at Pizzy Trading. I'm live on TikTok every single day, and Instagram I'm active over there the most. So yeah, boys, have a great rest of your day, and made $0 today. $0 today. So maybe we can go in tomorrow, make something. I'm happy with this break even, and yeah, boys, have a great rest of your day.